o'clock. Let's call this meeting to order, please. DeWile.
Here.
Chisholm.
Present.
Thompson.
Here.
Howe. Here. We're glad for that, too. Mitchell. Here. All present and accounted for. Consent agenda. With the minutes here. I'm sure you'll have a chance to look at the building permit application.
Bill, I don't think I got a packet because I forgot to turn the envelope in.
That shouldn't have been a problem. You didn't get it
I
back?
got the cover sheet. Sorry. I can look
Can you put it
on.
on the Bob, and I'll see that you get one afterwards,
Thank you.
okay?
So when I ask a lot of questions, forgive me.
Well, then he's gonna put Martin's gonna put a small deck over that garage door on the north side.
Okay.
Wants to cut the curb on the east side of the driveway for a new garage door.
That must be a typo. He's surely gonna do 15 foot.
Yeah. What does it say, 1 foot?
Or 15 inches.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be 15 feet. I'll check with you and make sure. Just make a driveway for his motorcycle.
And that could be.
I don't think so, though.
I'll make a correction. I thought I had last month's paperwork in my folder. So I'm Christine.
Some people's kids, you know.
I have choice words I can't say.
All right, I would entertain a motion that we set the consent agenda.
Motion we approve consent agenda.
Okay, is there a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. 4, 5 ayes, and none opposed, motion carries. Maintenance agreement for this is not for the sewer project, though, is it? Or it's, I mean, it's kind of,
It's related to the sewer project, but
Yes.
it's for the work on the Lagoon Road.
and I'm reading through this, the maintenance, and we're already under contract to maintain that road
Anyway,
with the one that gave the person who donated it. I don't know, I don't have the plans with me, I took them home.
That comes under the consent agenda now. We don't have to list them individually. We look at them and if it's okay, we
And
can.
that's something we learned when they came our clerk to the training. So if somebody had an issue about one, then you can pull it out and vote on it separately. The Lagoon Road has problems, if any of you have driven down there. The biggest problem is water washes down, and so some money that we're getting for free because of our last sewer project. See, if you borrow so much money, they give you a little bit of money to do something else. It's a project that we're working on, that we're going to widen that road, put down some larger rock, put down some other rock. The main thing, we're putting down a drop pipe to try to prevent that water from rushing down. They've been washing the road out every time we get a good rain.
right. Mostly it creates a better ditch on the east side of the road.
Right.
And then a big enough culvert at the bottom to take that water,
Right.
take it underneath the road.
Because now in the day, every time we have a big rain, we have to go down there and try to fill it as far as that goes. So that's what they're doing, and they're going to get some dirt from the lot at the top of the hill there, you know, Jeff Johnson's over towards Marion's, that the church is actually leasing that from Jeff for 99 years. I don't think it'll be here when the last year it is, but, so they're gonna grade that, take some of the dirt from the top of it and push it down to the bottom, they'll fill that up down there, and then they're going to grade that and fix it, so they can actually make it into a parking lot, which is why they leased it. So it's a win-win for the city, we don't have to buy dirt, and the church doesn't have to pay to get it graded, so it's,
I figure too, but we might have not put it in there.
I think it's a 36 with a 48-inch vertical drop and then a 36, I believe is what it is.
it's about this big on the drawing, I saw it.
Well, yeah, it's not too big on the picture.
Yeah, but that would be about right, according to the scale that's on there, 36 and 48 foot down there. But I think it's going to make that road easier to maintain and a lot better than it is now. far as that goes.
The existing pipe that's in there, how big is it, you know, Ken?
24, I think.
24?
And it's gonna
Yeah,
go back.
maybe even an 18.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's not 24, maybe it's more.
It might even be 18, yeah.
Yeah, it's not,
And it's real short too. You know, on that downstream side, it drops out there and then makes that cut. So this pipe will be a lot longer and extend down there and then flatten that slope.
so that's what this is. And we need a motion. This doesn't have to be a resolution, though.
No, just a motion.
We need a motion to approve this maintenance agreement.
I'll make that motion.
All
Can I
right?
ask one quick question?
Yeah.
So if, forgive me for, I don't know, anyway, so if they're gonna, because we've asked for the money, and so because we have all that money, they're gonna give us a little bit of free money to do,
All that,
or?
yes.
Okay, so my question is the free money that they're giving us, is this whole thing gonna use up all of that? Can part of that go towards maybe the bill from the other money that we're borrowing, or not?
No, it'll use it all up.
No, we were going to do, I don't know if you remember, we were going to do a project down at the cemetery, in that big ditch down there. The problem was, we didn't borrow enough money, so we didn't get enough money to do that. So then we looked for a project that was within the amount of money that we were going to get, that would benefit the city, that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And so that's why we did the lagoon over down there. And if there's any left over, I'm thinking that,
The bigger issue will be as if we run short.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what,
And that's why getting the dirt,
real close.
it makes it a lot, because if we would have to go someplace and buy dirt to do that, it would be more, but that's going to help us drastically as far as that goes.
So will we have to put bids out then for this job then?
It's a small enough job that you can do it without bids. So we were thinking of working with Chad Leffler, just because he's close by.
And they're going to be doing working down there anyway.
Right, he's working at the lagoon and he's working in town.
Okay. Because then it raises a concern, I don't want anything to go over and tack more money onto a bill for another project.
Right, right. But you get a quote from him. I mean, so you know up front whether you can do it or not. And if you can't do the project, well, then the project goes away, I guess.
Okay, and then we have to look for something else to do? Or does the money just go back into their general fund?
You go back into their fund, I guess.
Okay.
Revolving fund or whatever it's called, or,
State revolving fund, yeah.
We go back to the state.
yes.
Yes,
Not
right.
to us. All right,
I'll second the motion.
okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. We have 5 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. All right. Moving right along. We have the approved resolution authorizing and approving a loan disbursement agreement providing for the issuance and balance securing payment and $450,000 sewer revenue bonds. Up to $450,000, right? I thought we already did this,
I did too.
but it must be worded just a little bit different because they said some things, said, no, we have to do this. So
I think you've done all the steps that says you're going to do
yes,
this.
and this is where actually now.
And now you're actually doing it.
And we thought we were actually saying we were going to do it anyway. This is just another resolution authorizing and approving a loan and disbursement agreement providing with for issuance of security the payment for $3,000 sewer revenue bonds. I don't know if you read this, if there were any questions. We're resolving. We're going to enter into this revenue loan disbursement. The mayor and the city clerk are authorized and directed to sign the agreement. Revenue bonds are hereby authorized to be issued. Bonds may be in the denomination of $1,000 each or any integral parts thereof. So if somebody wants to buy all of them, we'll just cancel one, you can just give us the money. All right. This will be resolution 15.10.12.1. Is that how we do it, the year? I don't need one since we're not having more than one. Resolution 15.10.12. Do I have a motion? I would entertain a motion that we approve this resolution.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 151012, authorizing and approving a loan and disbursement agreement in the amount of $450,000 in sewer revenue bonds for our CDBG grant.
That's a not to exceed.
Not
It could
to
come in
exceed.
less, yeah. You might want to put that in your,
Not to exceed $450K.
there you go.
I'll second that.
Is there any other discussion?
It mentions this, excuse me,
Go ahead, go ahead, you start.
it mentioned this agreement. Will this be something that'll be on file here for the agreement?
All this paperwork that we have, a kind of a big file right now, as far as it has to do with all this stuff.
And then we do.
I guess what I'm asking, if somebody wants to look at it or for any reason, is it,
Oh, sure, it's all public.
Yes, it's all
Yeah,
public.
everything will be public.
I had one
Except the
question.
kickbacks we're putting on the table.
It'll come later.
Okay.
Okay. I know it's there, but.
Okay, so we have a motion, right? And we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5 ayes, no nays. Yeah, but Rick, we're going to do the roll call. DeWild,
Aye.
Chisholm,
aye,
Thompson,
Aye.
Howe,
Aye.
Mitchell,
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. All right, thank you very much.
Can you get that resolution number again?
15.10.12.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, fire department. Appointment. Does someone need, who would like to speak on behalf of the fire department?
Basically, we almost have our board formed, and we need the representative from the city. And we are looking for a city representative who you want to appoint or put in that spot.
Okay. And this is because you can't go forward with some of the other things.
Well, we want to get our board
To
completely
the board
formed.
is
That way, somebody from the city is informed just as much as the townships.
Okay. We have one from each of the townships now, I believe.
We will, as of Friday. Friday, we will have our board formed.
Okay.
So we are looking for one from the city, so the city can have their representation.
Okay, I'm going to make a recommendation, and then you can, but I kind of, the thing I don't like about this job is it wakes me up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning thinking about these things, and then I can't go back to sleep. Eliminating people because of different things. And I'd like to recommend Bill Mitchell be the city's appointment to this board. He's familiar with the fire department, and everything that goes on around the county and those kind of things, so I think that he would make a good, there's some people who are disqualified for different reasons, and that would be my suggestion. I would entertain a motion to that effect unless somebody wants to talk about something else.
So motioned.
I'll second it.
Okay.
I'll third it, how's that?
Motion made by Thompson, second by Howe. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. At 5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. All right. Trick or treat night. The school is having their trunk or treat on Friday. Someone suggested maybe we should do ours on Saturday, that way the kids would have 2 nights. And then I thought of the parents. And I thought maybe one night was enough.
Well, I've heard 2 views, and I don't mind sharing both
No,
those
that, we
views.
have to decide what we're going to, which night we're going to do.
Well, I heard originally that, to maybe have it on separate nights, and the theory was that way the kids could have 2 nights to do activities, because the trunk or treat starts at 5 o'clock, and activities don't finish until 7:30, and if you're not present to win for the drawings, you don't get the prize that you might have won. The second view I heard was from someone on the PTO board, and the whole goal of the trunk or treat and the PTO is to raise money for the playground equipment. And they said that when it falls on the same night, they have the best income coming in for the playground. So they kind of like the idea of it being on Friday. So therefore, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because Halloween's on Saturday.
I know, I like the idea of doing it all the same night. I mean, in one sense, because it's the kids are out, everybody's out, everybody's expecting it. And I just don't really want to judge Jameson up and take him out 2 times. I mean, he's so cute that I think one time is all anybody can stand.
Do you know when the library is having their party?
Whenever we decide to,
So everything will happen
I
on the
believe
same night?
everything would happen on the
Well,
same.
libraries have a
No,
different,
there's a
because
different,
the cafeterias.
theirs has nothing to really, it's a Halloween, but it's not necessarily on Halloween.
They have theirs in the cafeteria,
Yeah,
and since the cafeteria will be for the trunk or treat.
And I think it actually may be scheduled for the week before, something or after, I don't remember.
I never got to find out, so unfortunately.
She's up there.
Yeah,
Call her.
I can't call from in here. I'll text her, maybe she can see. This way. Go ahead, you can discuss it while I'm doing this.
Well, they're having the crock pot cook-off on
The
the
24th, that's right, that's the week, but it's Saturday before. Well, if I can, I may not be able to get any kind of a signal. Somebody run outside and use my phone to call her.
I can go into that.
Would you be willing to do it if I could find her number here? Maybe it's in her tablet. I have her.
I do have it.
Do you?
Well, I did have.
Yeah, I know, because the more people you have in one place, the better everything is going to be. I didn't understand the PTO wanting to do it on that night.
Number 641
Hold it here. 641
777
777.
0048.
You have to go outside, yes. We'll just take a little break, okay? But while we're doing this, one I'm going to read a thank you and some things here in a little bit, but Brian here and Chuck Vasella have pretty much taken on the park as their project, and basically the whole city for keeping things picked up and stuff. They worked pretty hard after the Corn Carnival, picking everything up. And the church, after the services, we got the young people, and they stacked the boards and things and all the blocks over there. They're going to put, David left the thing unlocked, and then someone thought, oh, it's unlocked, so they locked it, so they couldn't put them in. So Dave unlocked it, and I saw Chuck and Brian up at the park. He said, you guys, I'm really just disappointed that you didn't put all those blocks and those boards away, jokingly. So then, I think it was the next day, I saw Chuck and said, well, Brian went up there and put all those away by himself. I just want to express my appreciation on behalf of the city that you doing that, because they had them all stacked up, so they just slid in.
Yeah,
But still, the those cement blocks still weigh something. And we appreciate it and want to say thank you. Did you get that on record? Okay.
Brian kept the garbage cans empty
Indeed.
over the event too, so it was a big help.
Because it's that time of year, if you don't, yellow jackets and stuff start accumulating.
At
Yes,
this time, there may not be a party for the library.
okay.
It's just some family things going on. So
All right, so that settles that. All right. So what would be your pleasure? Do we think we should do it all in one night?
Yes.
Preferably, I think it would be.
Okay.
Yeah, because we
Yeah, I mean, to me,
all around it.
yeah, the thing is that I think it would be, having 2 nights of fun would be great, but it's kind of almost too much. How much?
Depends on what side you're on.
When the kids vote, you're right. All right, I would entertain a motion then that we have trick or treat night on Friday from 6 till 8. 6 till 8. By 8 o'clock, it's really pretty dark.
Yeah.
And that way, if they want to stay to 7:30 at the school, then they still have a half hour to rush down.
With a 6:45 coming up there, we're using midnight, so.
Yeah, so, yeah, no, it's, the nice thing about the fact that now that they don't do daylight savings time until the first thing in November is like, before, it's always like the night before Halloween, it got dark at 6:30, and Halloween night it got dark at 5:30.
Have we made a motion at all?
I'm entertaining it.
Because I kind of thought too, to try to accommodate families, and I know that gets kind of late, but maybe even just maybe making it to 8:30 to help accommodate people trying to do the uptown stuff and making time to try to run around town.
I have no problem. I mean, we go till the round of candy and the light goes off.
But then, I know usually by 8 o'clock people are starting to shut their lights off anyway, so of course that's 8 o'clock is the time, but you still see a few. It takes about 2 hours to walk the whole town, and we walk, we don't drive, so. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out
Well, I
there.
mean, we haven't made a motion yet, have we?
But, and it doesn't matter to me.
So if you want to make the motion, why don't you make it, then we can vote it up or down?
I don't have an opinion tonight, isn't that terrible? The first time in my life I have no opinion.
Yeah, it has it on tape, and
We have that loaded tonight, right?
All right, would someone make a motion concerning trick or treat night, please?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we have this year's trick or treat night, October 30th, from 6 to 8:30.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we're gonna let Bob second this one. We're glad to have Larry back. That's a lot of touch and go. We're glad he's here. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. 5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Carried. Now this packet, the annual report from BHPS, which we could read, but they would like to highlight a couple of things, if I understand right. Is that right? You want to read the report?
No, I don't want to read the whole thing. Does everybody have a copy of it?
Everyone has a copy.
Okay.
Yes,
No.
you sure? I made 5 copies.
Yeah, we took one for you.
And here's one for you. Does everybody else have one? Well, see, I gave it, but I just never gave it to anybody. No, that's not it. Somebody got one. That's not it. You can have mine.
Oh, there's another one. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is our annual report, which we are mandated to do to be compliant with our 2080 agreement. So there's just a couple of things that we want to highlight for the public tonight. One of them is the improvements that we've made to the museum. The improvements that we've made this year is that we have finished the attic and the exterior sidewall insulation has been completed. And we've also redone the window frames and put in new storm windows. So those two actions, along with the previously completed requirements of the ADA compliant restroom and the upgrade of the electrical wiring, now complete our responsibilities as far as the offered by real estate and acceptance, section 23A. So we are done with everything that we said we would do. Also this year, we had a new outdoor security camera system installed too. So those are primarily the building upgrades that we've done. As far as what we've done for education for the community, we gave our first annual $500 Audrey Chisman Memorial Scholarship away this year. Paige Schaefer was our lucky recipient. The scholarship criteria includes community volunteerism and a college major in history or education. And just to let people know, the scholarship is privately funded for the next 2 years, and then hopefully we can bring the community into the funding and we can do it as a community from there on out. We've also done a variety of educational programs. We did Tom Milligan. 2 of them were with Humanities Iowa. The first one was with Tom Milligan, and he did American Dreamer, The Life and Times of Henry Wallace. Then we did one with Denny Rader, also of Humanities Iowa, Grass Between the Rails. and that was on the development of the railroads in Iowa. Both of those had a Blakesburg connection. American Dreamer was connected with the J family, who was Dick J was Wallace's college roommate. And the RADA program was connected by William Shea, who was a very prominent Blakesburg resident, served 57 years on the railroad, rose to national prominence. So we also did some programs called History and Evolution of Pressing and Ironing. This is one that we put together ourselves. We've taken this one on the road. We've been to Pella, twice actually, to Bloomfield and Ottumwa, and this year we brought it back to Blakesburg. And we've also completed the next 3 productions of our Living History Project. 2 of them have been viewed in Blakesburg. Maxine Chittister described 1920s Blakesburg businesses, merchants, and events in her video. And then, of course, we had Irene, her team, talk about her teaching career. And everything was very well attended this year. So we thank people from Blakesburg for coming to those. We also try every year to get involved in the community, and of course, we're always heavily involved in the Corn Carnival. We always do a float, and we also brought Nauvoo on the road this year. Had over 100 students on Friday. That was a little bit challenging because of the rain. We wound up moving that to the school, but the kids still liked it. Then it was back in the park on Saturday, and it was opened up to the general public, and from the feedback that we got, it was very successful.
There were a lot of people there.
There was a lot of people there. They have asked to come back again next year, so we're hoping to be able to accommodate them, so we'll see. We also sponsored a trip for the public to Prairie Trails Museum in Corydon. We do Halloween at the museum every year. We participate in Small Town Christmas from the Loving Shepherd Food Pantry's fundraiser. And then we also do a window vignette in Albia during their Victorian stroll. And we're also in an effort right now, we're working with the Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont School District in a cooperative and goodwill gesture. We're helping them get a grant to fund their new school cafeteria. And that building will also include additional meeting space then for the community. So that is something that we're working with them on. We do a lot of fundraising. Of course, you need money to run a museum and to run an organization, especially when it's a nonprofit. So we had something going on almost every month once the weather turned nice. We did a soup luncheon in March, a rummage and bake sale in coordination with the city in May. We did Bike the Bikers, Bike the Bikeway in June. We did a tip night in July. And then our biggie is the Antique Airfield, where we do a pie and ice cream social. It's always a fun thing, and we always are very grateful to everybody in the community for baking us lots of pies. We have had an explosion of artifacts being donated to the museum this summer. Right now we have on display artifacts, photographs, and documents from the Fritz, Barnes, Jay, Abernathy, Shea, Abeg, Pearson, Johnson, Warner, Hunter, Mitchell, Britton, and several other families that have all brought in things either relative to Blakesburg and the businesses or their families themselves. And some of the displays are absolutely beautiful in there. We've got some really wonderful things going on right now. So, as far as the operations of the museum is open 9 a.m. to noon every Tuesday and Thursday. We bring in some special exhibits occasionally. We took a look at our volunteer log. As of September 30th, we have logged 433.75 volunteer hours in museum operations predominantly. A little bit of that is with fundraisers, but most of it is with the museum operations and the improvements to the museum, and 433 hours is to be commended for the whole community. That's pretty significant. So we're very happy about that. And then also we want to point out that as documented in our museum guest book, we've had a lot of people from different areas in Iowa, but we've also had visitors from 12 other states in the United States. And so far that includes Missouri, Minnesota, Michigan, Idaho, Illinois, Florida, Mississippi, Alaska, Texas, California, Maryland, and Indiana, and we had our first international visitor from Finland this year. So we were happy about that. And a lot of these people, once they've been there, upon seeing the museum, this is how we're getting some of the donations that are coming back to the museum. So they subsequently send artifacts and documents and photographs to be placed and archived in the museum. So it's been a wonderful year. It's been a fantastic summer at the museum. We just sent out our newsletter for the year along with our Friends of BHPS drive, and we've already started to get letters back with donations and with artifacts. So we're happy about all of that. So, busy group.
I thought you were going to say 433.75 people, and I was just going to ask who that 3/4 of the person was.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. The other aspect is, for 5 years, our 2080 agreement with the Historical Society, and I think this is the fourth payment. So after that, it'll have to be after next year, it'll have to be redone, and of course, that goes for another 5 years.
And I don't know if you have to vote on that. I can't remember what you've done in previous
We
years,
will,
Bill.
but I don't, I mean, it's, we agreed to give that $1,500 a year for the first 5 years here. So you all see that, I guess, I'd like to have a motion to accept the report and then to authorize the payment of the $1,500.
Is that 2 motions?
One, I'd like to make it one.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay. The motion is that we accept the report and authorize the payment of the $1,500 for the 2080 agreement. Is there a second? All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, the same sign. Okay. I have 5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. All right. Old business. I can't think of anything old besides me. My sister's old, today's her birthday. I told her that. All right, new business. You want me to read this? I'll read this. How's that
I
sound?
can read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is to all persons interested in the Blakesburg Corn Carnival. The community of Blakesburg just celebrated its 111th Corn Carnival. The Corn Carnival Committee wishes to thank everyone who assisted in some way to help us get the event underway and those who attended. The Corn Carnival Committee would like to express our needs regarding a 2016 Corn Carnival. We desperately need volunteers for planning and implementing the 2016 event. Meetings are held on the third Wednesday of each month, 6:30 p.m. at the Blakesburg Historical Museum. Anyone who is interested in continuing the tradition of the Blakesburg Corn Carnival is invited and encouraged to come to the next meeting on October 1st. Everyone is welcome to attend the meeting and share your ideas. Sincerely, Donna Thompson, President, Blakesburg Corn Carnival.
Seems to be we've done it 111 times. We could probably come up with a way to do it at least one more year, I would think. And there's some things it may have to delegate some things out, but I think that it's something that, I got lots of good comments from people. I'm going to tell them quite frequently. We were at Osaka this weekend, and I saw something there with the Corn Carnival, and I mean, they all, just some good comments, so that's nice, and then having the other things. I got some of those and some other things, but not the Corn Carnival. But, is there any other new business? Oh, I'm going to hate this, it's only been 35 minutes, but I'm going to